So, right, as a journalism major, right, a junior journalism major, gonna graduate 2011, you know, I hear a lot of talk about journalism, newspaper, print media dying out. And I was looking up YouTube, and again, there's a lot of talk about it, but there's not a lot of talk about solutions. So you know what? Let a junior from Rutgers University have it a go. You know, see what the prospects are for future journalism. Will print media ever die? Will there ever be a world without a newspaper? No, not at all. It's funny because you read the history books, whatever, and when radio was coming out, all that stuff, they were like, oh, this is the new thing, it's gonna override books, newspapers. Books are still here, newspapers are still here. Ironically enough, when TV came out, there was a whole big fuss. I can't remember exactly, but man, I want to say CBS, because CBS used to be a radio station. I want to say, not exactly accurate, not 100% sure on this, can't remember. But they did everything to shut down TV, to limit TV's options, because they were afraid that it's going to get rid of radio. Lo and behold, radio's still here. It's definitely not how it used to be back in the day, but it's still here, it survived. Okay? Now, newspapers, dying. Alright? That is a pretty premature statement to be saying. Alright? Think about this, guys. Alright? Compared to other outlets, compared to television media, in radio media, definitely, and even internet media. Get into internet media in a minute. But radio and TV, with them, it's more allotted to interesting viewers, to keeping viewers interested in getting commercial slots, than actually providing news. Alright? You cannot get the same news from an article that you can get in a 45-second feed for a half-an-hour news, local news, or hour. I don't know what they do. I don't watch it. I read the newspaper. You know, you cannot get the same coverage regarding stuff. All right. So obviously, if you get your news, political news, whatever, from the television, you're not gonna know the whole situation. You're not gonna know the whole situation that you can get from newspapers. All right. Now, yes, people are saying newspapers are dying. You know, a lot of jobs are getting laid off. Listen, people gotta keep on writing, okay? Now, think about this, the day a newspaper dies, right? Where are people gonna get all their serious information? The internet can only go so far, alright? Now, and even the only reliable sources of news on the internet are from newspaper websites, like the New York Star Ledger, NJ.com. That's reliable. Alright? In regards to citizen journalism, no, doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Citizens don't have the proper training, can't even write prose correctly, can't write AP style correctly. You know, none of that stuff. They have a certain bias probably too. You know, they don't know. They don't know how to do this. They cannot properly disseminate the information that you can get from the newspaper. Alright, because they're not getting paid, so there's not the same amount of incentive. Alright, so solutions to the problem. So far I've thought of two main ones. First one, the Kindle. Okay, I saw this thing, Amazon, and man, I'm not too materialistic, but I would love a Kindle. Alright, the thing is, I was looking into this, you can get major newspapers downloaded onto the Kindle, okay? Very cheap, man, very, very cheap, a couple cents, whatever. You know, for one thing, that saves the newspaper money, because they don't need to spend it on paper, but they could use it, you know, just download it, easy computer stuff. A lot of money saved in that, okay? And another way the newspaper is proper is because people read the material, they stick with it, okay? Simple enough. Only problem with Kindle, it's way too expensive. It's $200 I think right now. Cheapest you can get is like $200. I can't afford that. Well, I mean, I probably could, but that's, you know, a lot of people can't afford that, and they'll just do it the cheaper way, you know. So we've got to find a way to lower its price, which will happen eventually as the technology improves, as everything always happens. I know when digital cameras first came out, they're like, oh crap, oh wow, like $500. Now you can get a good one for like 100. I think I got mine for 100. All right. Second solution. It's a bit more radical, but I compare the news to the European counterparts, and a good way would be a bit state funding. Okay, mind you, I would say more state funding and not federal funding, simply because each state has its own interests, which may or may not be in agreement with the federal government. So obviously you're going to get some bias for the state, but it varies. You have that in everything. You know, you have that with private media. You have a certain bias. You know, Washington Post, very conservative. New York Times, very liberal. So you're gonna have a bias. You will always have a bias. All right. It's a simple point. People say you have to keep a open mind to everything, but it's tough. It's really tough. You know, one way or the other, people show their support through subtle means. All right. I've read articles, and I don't know, maybe because I know how to read them, and it's like, oh, you could tell this person did not like such and such a person because of the way he wrote about them. And you know, it's very subtle, but it's there. It's usually there, and not just editorials, just even just regular articles, whatever, you know. So, will print media die? No. Will it continue to? It will change. Yes, it will change, and it's going through a rough phase right now, especially with the recession, jobs being lost. But come on, to say that it's being gone, no. Okay. The day the newspaper dies out, people will be up in the streets because they won't know what's going on. They won't know. The 45-second news slot on the television will not tell them what the mayor of their town is doing, or even bigger issues, you know. So people are exaggerating the death of journalism, and it's scaring people away, which I guess is a good thing because more jobs for people who do stick with it, like me. But have faith. I'm seeing people getting scared, backing away because of it, and it's, you know, stick with it. You know, stay out of the safe zone. Give it a shot. All right. Support your local media. Buy a newspaper sometime. I know I don't have a lot of money, but every once in a while I'll go out and buy myself New Jersey newspapers. I don't buy that New York Times stuff. That's New York. I'm from New Jersey. So yes, support your print media. Alright? Thank you.